retribution on our politicians and political opponents who are leading in campaigns by lots. Oh, we are beating them badly. That's what they really, that has to stop. What they've done is they've gone after opponents. But if you become president and you don't like somebody, or if somebody's beating you by 10, 15, or 20 points like we're doing with crooked Joe Biden, let's indict the motherfucker. Let's indict him.
I think it is also vital that we not be gaslit in a functioning democracy. I very clearly remember how Donald Trump responded when Nancy Pelosi's husband was almost killed, when Nancy Pelosi's husband, Paul, was the victim of an attempted murder.
And we'll stand up to crazy Nancy Pelosi, who ruined San Francisco. How's her husband doing, by the way? Anybody know? And she's against building a wall at our border, even though she has a wall around her house, which obviously didn't do a very good job.
I remember what Donald Trump posted. I remember what Don Jr. posted. Do you? Because Donald Trump immediately reposted a QAnon meme. Trump posted, "Where we go one, we go all." Trump posted, "Where we go one, we go all."
Where we go one, we go all.
Do you know that that slogan came from John F. Kennedy? That's where that came from, and that slogan was on his yacht, his boat.
Because Donald Trump immediately reposted a QAnon meme. Trump posted, "Where we go one, we go all."
QAnon is a death cult. Donald Trump's response right after Nancy Pelosi's husband was almost killed was to repost a death cult account to his extremist base.
Uh-oh, retard alert!
Donald Trump also posted the following: "I purposefully didn't comment on Nancy Pelosi's very weird story concerning her husband, but now I can because she said something about me with glee that was really quite vicious. I saw a scared puppy," she said, as she watched me on television, like millions of others that didn't see that. I wasn't scared.
So to see the President of the United States be arraigned, I saw a scared puppy. He looked very, very, very concerned about the fate. I didn't see any bravado or confidence or anything like that.
I wasn't scared. Nevertheless, how mean a thing to say. She is a wicked witch whose husband's journey from hell starts and finishes with her. She is a sick and demented psycho who will someday live in hell."
That is correct. That is correct.
Don Jr. posted the following: a photograph of underwear with a hammer on it. And Don Jr. said, "Got my Paul Pelosi Halloween costume ready."
Trick or treat.
What's going on, man? Hi. Drop the hammer.
As Don Jr. and MAGA Republicans were intentionally spreading a vicious and false conspiracy that Nancy Pelosi's husband was in a homosexual relationship with the individual who tried to kill him.
At the first press conference on Friday, San Francisco police suggested there was a third person in the home when police arrived, and Politico dutifully reported that. Quote, "Officers arrived at the house, knocked on the front door, and were led inside by an unknown person." In other words, by a person who was not David DePappy or Paul Pelosi. Now, Politico never formally corrected this claim. Instead, just 2 days later, Politico, the same publication, attacked anyone who repeated its own reporting as a crazed conspiracy monger. Quote, "Pro-Trump commentators weighed in online to raise questions about the investigation based on unfounded and false claims. Among those baseless claims, that a third person answered the door when police arrived at the Pelosi home."
And that's why that all went down. They spread that conspiracy, and then Donald Trump talked about that at the various rallies.
Asking for details or facts when it comes to this story have again been dismissed as a conspiracy, as an entire narrative that David DePape was an insurrectionist and a MAGA Republican was built. No questions that could get in the way of that narrative. Earlier this month, NBC ran this report, which stated that Paul Pelosi didn't think he was in danger when David DePape was in his home. Now, that report by NBC News was totally scrubbed from its website. They also suspended that reporter, Miguel Almaguer.
That he went to. I want to compare that to the types of statements that were being made in the aftermath of the Butler, Pennsylvania shooting. Former President Barack Obama writes, "There's absolutely no place for political violence in our democracy. Although we don't yet know exactly what happened, we should all be relieved that former President Trump wasn't seriously hurt."
I ran against John McCain. I ran against Mitt Romney. I never thought that the Republic was at risk if they were elected.
Michelle and I are wishing him a quick recovery.
This guy is temperamentally unfit to be commander-in-chief, and he is not equipped to be president.
Former President Bill Clinton wrote, "Hillary and I are thankful that President Trump is safe, heartbroken for all those affected by the attack at today's rally in Pennsylvania."
Now, having said all this, why aren't I 50 points ahead, you might ask?
President Biden wrote, "I have been briefed on the shooting at Donald Trump's rally in Pennsylvania. I'm grateful to hear that he's safe and doing well."
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
I'm grateful to hear that he's safe and doing well.
The MAGA Republicans don't just threaten our personal rights and economic security. They're a threat to our very democracy.
I'm grateful to hear that he's safe and doing well. I'm praying for him and his family and for all those who were at the rally.
He accused some Republicans of extremism during a private fundraiser and of embracing a philosophy akin to semi-fascism by following Trump.
Jill and I are grateful to the Secret Service for getting him to safety.
But ladies and gentlemen, the things that Donald Trump is saying and doing is genuinely a threat to the democratic process, which is based on trust.
While I read for you the statements of some of the Democratic leaders who are not politicizing this in any way.
The quote by Joe Biden within days before the shooting is, "We're done talking about the debate. It's time to put Trump in a bullseye." Can he really lower his own tone and temperature?
He won't. Because that's all the Democrats have. They have this demonization strategy that animates their base, that gets them fired up. They get it ratings from it. They make money fundraising from it. So if you take that, that's basically the cornerstone of the Democrats' turnout operation, which is Trump's a threat. And without the Democrats being against Trump, they don't even know what they're for.
Some of the Democratic leaders who are not politicizing this in any way.
It was Joe Biden who said that Romney was going to put Black Americans back in chains. It was the Jim Crow 2.0.
This makes Jim Crow look like Jim Eagle.
Even last night, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez tweets that we have to protect the country from the fascists. So I'm not sure that the message is getting through on the left.
The Republicans were very quick to politicize this.
Throw all the rhetoric at Trump that you want. Everybody understands Trump. Everybody understands. He makes jokes. Your side wasn't making jokes. When you call somebody Hitler and we say, no, we're not, those two aren't the same thing.
We here at the Meidas Touch Network condemn
in the strongest terms any form of political violence, period, full stop.
I don't know what any of that means, but it sounds fucking retarded.
I am your voice.